Hello guys, my name is Alanchi Zanga. Welcome to Combined Science tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about covalent compounds, covalent bonding in covalent compounds. So in this section on covalent compounds, you'll learn about covalent bonds by looking at hydrogen, chlorine and water molecules. Remember, in the last tutorial we said that an ionic bonding is whereby electrons are transferred from metals to non-metals and then they become ions. We talked about the negative ions and the positive ions, where we said that negative ions are formed when there is a loss in electrons. When a metal loses electron, it becomes a positive ion, and when a non-metal receives electrons, it becomes a negative ion. And the attraction between the negative ions and the positive ions will form an ionic bond. But today we are going to be looking at covalent bonds, which are not formed through the transfer of electrons but rather through the sharing of electrons. So in a covalent bond, the two atoms share a pair of electrons. They share a pair of electrons. The force that holds the two atoms together is due to the attraction between the shared pair of electrons and the positive nucleus of each atom. Okay, so how do these atoms become bonded? I want you to take a look at this diagram which I have circled here. You can see that A is putting or is giving one electron to the bond, whilst B is also giving one electron to the bond. So now the force of attraction between the nucleus of A and the electron in the bond and the force of attraction between the nucleus of B and the electrons in the bond causes A and B to become united together. Remember that negative electrons and protons, they attract each other. So the nucleus has a positive charge whilst electrons have a negative charge. So the protons and the electrons, they attract each other. So covalent bonds, what makes covalent bonds stronger? It is due to the attraction of the electrons in the bond and the positive nucleus. As you can see on the labels that are on this diagram on my left side of the screen, you can see that there's a label that says the nucleus of A. The nucleus of A, you can see here, the nucleus of A is attracted to the electron pair. Then you can see on the middle it says that pair of electrons, one from each atom. And then B, it is labeled the nucleus of B is also attracted to the electron pair. So I'm just repeating what I've explained before, maybe to make you understand more what is happening here. So A is an atom and B is another different atom. A is giving, or it is contributing one electron, whilst B is contributing one electron to the bond. So these two electrons, one from A and another one from B, they form a pair of electrons. Then the nucleus of A will attract this pair of electrons to itself, whilst the nucleus of B will attract these electrons again to itself, causing that force of attraction will cause A and B to become united together. Let us take a look at bonding in hydrogen molecule. From our past tutorials, you have learned that hydrogen, it has one shell and it has a nucleus in the middle, and hydrogen has one proton. hydrogen has one proton, so this is my P1P, which means one proton, and it has one electron. So for hydrogen to become stable, it needs to receive another electron. Remember that the first shell becomes stable when it has two electrons. So hydrogen, to acquire a noble gas configuration, it needs to receive one extra electron. So let us say that another hydrogen uh, atom is going to provide the first hydrogen with the electron, and in exchange the first hydrogen will also provide the second hydrogen with an electron. So let's call my first hydrogen, I'm going to call it A, and in my second hydrogen I'm going to call it B. So A is going to give B an electron, so that B will have two electrons. But also B is going to give A an electron, so that A will have two electrons. So in this case, since both A and B requires one electron, there is not going to be transfer of electron, but rather sharing of electrons. These two are going to share their electrons. That is a covalent bond. It is the sharing of electrons. So let us take a look on the diagram that is on my left side of hydrogen. You can see that there's the first hydrogen. You can see the first hydrogen here, which is my A. It has one electron represented by a dot. Then the second hydrogen B, it has one electron represented by a star. Then there's an arrow showing us that A and B have joined together through the sharing of electrons. You can see that their electrons, that the dot and the star is now in the middle, showing that both A and B are sharing these two electrons. So hydrogen A has two electrons. It is benefiting the two electrons, whilst B is also benefiting the two electrons. So both are chemically stable, both have a noble gas configuration. So this is covalent bond. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, you are free to ask them on my WhatsApp platform or on my Facebook platform. Stay blessed. Subscribe for more tutorials. Goodbye for now.